Uh, Hello and welcome to our video tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll see uh, how to manage relationship between multiple tables in our MySQL database. So let's see the database we already have. We have Student Management System DB, and we have two tables: list of students and list of courses. Now, if you want to bind those two tables, we have list of students and we have list of courses, but we don't know which student is taking which course. So for that, we need additional table. We need a third table to hold which student. This student takes this course. This student takes this course. So let's create that table. So click on New. It's loading. Now the table name is TBL student course. It's a third table to maintain or to contain the relationship columns between student and course. So the table name is student course. The columns are, every table should have a primary key. So I'll add ID and then a student ID, which will come from student table, and also course ID. So all the columns are integer since they are ID columns. I make, for example, student ID to describe or to notify anyone looking at the table that this column is a foreign key table, a foreign key column from table student. And the same for course ID. Course ID means ID from table course. So that's naming standard I use. You can you can pick whatever you want, but the only thing is stick to it. Respect your standard. That's all. So now we'll make ID column as a primary key, and also go, and also it's going to be an auto increment or an automatic number. So this is it. Save. Now we have third table. Ignore. Now we have three tables. Now the relationship is going to be, let me explain it. Let me explain it a little bit more. I hope I won't make it worse. So we have three tables. This one is student table and this one is course. Now we added third table here. Why? Because I want to know which student is taking which course. And since student and course are many-to-many relationship, because one student will take multiple courses, the same time, single course can be taken by multiple students, which means table student and table course have many-to-many relationship. So to solve that, we created another third table called junction table. It's a technical term. So to do what? To complete or to implement the relationship of the two tables. How? We have ID here as a primary key, and we also have ID for course. Now for the third table, I will pull student ID here, and I will pull course ID here. So the table will have its own primary key. So this is our third table. The only thing it does is maintain the relationship between student and course. So every time when I ask which student is taking which courses, then I'll select it from this table, and vice versa. I mean, which course is taken by which students, then I can still use this table to answer that question. Okay, I hope it clarifies something. Now, how am I going to maintain, or how am I going to implement this relationship rule in PHP, in MySQL, sorry. So first, why do we need that relationship being defined in MySQL? Let's see an example. Okay, so first, let's see what kind of data we have in student and course tables. So let's do select statements simply, or let's click on student table, then I'll see list of students. So these are the number of students we have, and for table course, there you go, we have sample courses. Now let's try to insert some data in TBL student course. Sorry. So to insert, we'll write insert into TBL student course. Columns are, I can expand this table and see list of columns here. So ID is auto increment, so I don't have to provide that. Student ID, comma, course ID. Now, when I want to provide the values, what are the values going to be? Student ID and course ID. Let's see. Student ID 10 and course ID 20. Let's see. Go. So one row is inserted. So let's see the data we have in TBL student. So here is the data being registered. Now, what the problem is, we have registered a student ID 10. What is a student ID column? Student ID column means an ID field from our TBL student. So which means when we insert student ID 10, there has to be a student in TBL student with an ID column 10. Yeah? Do we have any? No. Which means our data inserted in TBL student course is garbage, because I inserted student ID 10. Student ID 10 takes course ID 20. But in reality, there is no student whose ID is 10, and there is no course whose ID is 20. So this table or this record is completely junk. So why MySQL is not managing this? Because we didn't told it to. So a relationship, creating relationship is all about this. We have to tell MySQL that in student ID column, you have to accept values only available in student ID. And for course ID, you have to accept values only if they are available in course TBL course ID. Okay, how are we going to do that? Let's see. So let's delete this record. We don't want it because it's junk. Okay, it's gone. Now we have to create a relationship. So until now, what I'm trying to do is explaining how why creating a relationship is important. Now I think you have some idea why. So now let's see how. Okay, so a relationship is being created for TBL student course, because TBL student course is the center table. Okay, so let's see the structure of the table. And when you go to the structure of the table, you will get here it says table structure, and now it says relation view. I want to create relation, so I want to change the view to relation view first. Just click on relation view. Now here we go. Now what we can do is tell it a constraint name, or we are defining a rule, so we are supposed to give it a name for the rule. So let's say TVL student course with TVL student. TVL student course ከTVL student ጋር የሚያያዝበት ነው አልኩት ማለት ነው ስሙን። I gave it this name to describe that this relationship is enforced between TVL student course and TVL student. I will have another constraint for student course and TVL course. So let's finish this one. Now in here, on delete and on update, what does this mean is whenever you want to change a value, update, or whenever you want to delete a record, what am I supposed to do? We are telling a rule for MySQL, so it has to make sure that what we want it to do. So on delete, restrict means don't allow anyone to delete any record, or cascade it whenever someone is deleted, so remove or delete the relationship as well, or some other options. Exactly the same on update. Now which column is being joined with who? So let's see the column. We said student course with student, so we have to select student ID, and student ID is connected to which table? We have to select student table. Which column from student table? ID column. It's being selected automatically. Why? Because we defined this column as a primary key. If you don't define ID as a primary key when you create TVL student, you won't get anything here. Okay, so one relationship or one constraint is defined. Let's create another one. Click add constraint. Now the next constraint will be between student course and course. So let's select course ID, and which table? Course table, ID column. Now I have created two constraints or two rules. Now let's save it. Your SQL query has been executed successfully, which means constraint is created. Thank you very much. Now let's try to insert the same record we have inserted previously. Insert into TVL student course, student ID and course ID. Values now 10 and 20. Now when you click go, it has to reject, has to deny. So this is the error we get. Now because we told our intention or our rules between our tables to MySQL, now MySQL is enforcing our rule. It's saying that you can't add or update a child row. A foreign key constraint fails. The foreign key constraint or the rule fails that we told it to enforce or to maintain. So what I can do is I have to correct the data. Now student ID 1, course ID 2. Because we have student ID 1 and course ID 2, now MySQL should accept this value. Let's click go, and now one row inserted. Okay, This is what creating relationship is all about. I hope it's clear. I don't know if it's not. So I hope you'll write some comments if it's not clear, and if it's not clear, and I'll try to go a little further. For now, I think it's enough about relationship. And in the next video, actually it's going to be our last video, we'll see how to create views or how to select data from multiple tables in one query. Okay, so thank you for watching, and also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube video channel for future videos to get notifications when we add additional tutorial videos. Thank you very much for watching again.